superstar on the horizon. We've got just about enough time to get you into this very first match. It's the 118-pound championship between the number 2 seed, Kelvin Jackson, and the number 4 seed, Eric Ivins. Ivins, the senior from Oklahoma, and then Jackson from Michigan State. There he is, the 22-year-old. He said he feels like he's young, like he's 21 now. Ivins and Jackson, and there's your All-Americans. The top 8 wrestlers become All-Americans, and the gentleman, Mike Mena from Iowa, finishing 3rd, and sometimes that's surprising because if they don't get to the championship, sometimes there's a letdown, but Dan Gable, the legend, wouldn't allow that to happen. So we're set now, our first of 10 championship matchups.
Eric Ivins was a 126-pounder throughout the year, and at the Big 8 tournament dropped down to 118 pounds. It was a risk. He was ranked as a 126-pounder, but he has performed well here at 118 pounds despite missing weight the last 2 national tournaments. That was a high-risk move by him, but it has paid off.
Paid off tonight. He's 33-3. The number 2 seed, Jackson, 41-4. That is a Michigan State single-season record.
Ivins is great on his feet. He particularly likes the double leg. That is how he disposed of Mena of Iowa in the semifinals. And there it is. Once he gets in there, he's pretty powerful. But Jackson does a great job of straightening out sprawling and countering that attack.
Jackson says he likes to flurry, capitalize on mistakes. Personable young man. Merchandising management major.
Jackson was second in the Big Ten to Mena, but here, beautiful double leg. He's in a position to finish. He needs to break that lock of Ivins before they'll give him the 2 points, and as long as Ivins keeps his hands like scooping the ankles will help now. He still needs to clear that lock. There he has this opportunity now. There it is. 2 points. And Jackson draws first blood and goes up 2-0. We'll have riding time going here as well. Riding time is the time you spend in the advantage position. And if you accrue at the end of the match a minute or more than your opponent, you are awarded an extra point.
You could have 3 minutes. It wouldn't matter. You'd only get the 1.
And they go out of bounds. They'll restart the center.
No escape there. Still 2-0 with 1:05 left to go in the first period. That's 3 minutes. The next 2 are 2 minutes, and you'll flip. You have the option of going up or down. Each wrestler will have 1 option.
And that's a false start by Jackson, Michigan State. That'll give him a caution, sort of a freebie. He gets 2 of those before you're penalized for a point.
The last 2 matches for Jackson have been close.
Ivins gets his 1 point escape. Score now 2-1.
Ivins has won in dominating fashion. He had 2 falls, a forfeit, got him to the semis, and then he beat Mena from Iowa, the number 1 seed. So Ivins on a roll, but behind by 1, 2-1, and something in the eye of the young man from Oklahoma.
Ivins has gotten in twice on Jackson's legs, and Jackson has fended him off both times, maybe a little bit quicker than Ivins. And that's a very poor shot. Jackson could score here, and he does so. Nice job. Going up now 4-1 with those 2 points.
4-1 Jackson.
Working on more. Now finally both are out of bounds. They go back to the center. 4-1 Jackson, 12 seconds left to go. First period. Our first matchup of the night of 10.
With 12 seconds left here, Ivins needs to get out. Ivins needs 1 point right here to get back into the match. Jackson doing a great job of hanging onto the wrist. That hand control kept him.
Jackson from Anderson, Indiana leads 4-1. And we are back with the second period right after this.
When the bear comes...
The NCAA Division I Wrestling National Championship is brought to you by Coast Deodorant Soap. That crisp, invigorating scent makes Coast the eye-opener. And by MasterCard. MasterCard, it's more than a credit card, it's smart money. Kelvin Jackson from Michigan State leads 4-1, had a very good first period. At the end of that, Eric Ivins, the senior from Oklahoma, appeared to be injured. They took a little bit of time to work with him, and he came back. Is he 100%, you think, Jeff?
I think he is. He just had 2 poor shots, and really, when he does get in on that double, normally he's very effective, but Jackson has done a great job of countering him. Jackson also held him down with 12 seconds left, keeping that 3-point edge that he has over Ivins, and he chose to be on his feet. The coin toss went to Ivins. He deferred to Jackson. Jackson didn't want to put him down to let him go, so he started in the up or neutral position for the second period.
Ivins says that he's not very technical, just hard-nosed, and because he's unorthodox, it's hard to really get a bearing on him.
And Ivins is complaining to the referee that Jackson is hitting him in the forehead with that palm of his hand. A quite often used setup in wrestling to try to get your opponent to flinch or move his head, thus opening up a shot to the legs. And Jackson has enough length in that body, Dave, to be able to fend off that double. He has enough leverage to keep Ivins down and not be able to get his head up and lift him.
Two-time runner-up in the Big Ten. He was the junior college national champ at Lassen Community College in California. He's used to pressure events.
And he was just warned for stalling. No points there, but the next one will cost him. Ivins needs to clear Jackson's hands out of the way so he can get a good penetration step into the legs and be able to get in deep so that he doesn't have to worry so much about the sprawl of Jackson. And when he has his head down like that, it's very difficult for Ivins to lift Jackson. Jackson looks quicker. Beautiful shot on the legs. He'll get the takedown there. An excellent counter. 6-1 now. Kelvin Jackson leads from Michigan State.
Time ticking down in period number 2. Kelvin Jackson starting to feel very confident.
He's wrestling very, very well here. Not at all intimidated by Ivins, who does appear just to be a little bit bigger physically. He was a 126-pounder most of the year, cut down. Performed well, but Jackson tonight is on.
His 42nd win would be another new school record at Michigan State.
And again, Jackson is able to keep Ivins down and not let him get away for that one-pointer. He also now has built riding time. He has 1:15. That's Mark Manning in the corner yelling instruction to his Oklahoma wrestler.
Jack Spates, the head coach at Oklahoma. Tom Minkle, Joe Pantaleo, the coaches for Michigan State.
This is where Ivins is good, is in the top position. But he's going to need to turn Jackson and get some near fall points. Slang term for that is back points. He'll need to put him on his back in order to get back into the match.
Iowa City fans very, very knowledgeable about the game. Feel that there's maybe a bit of stalling going on underneath.
And they also know that their wrestler, Mike Mena, who Ivins beat, has defeated Jackson twice this year. And it seems as though Jackson is covering up a little bit. He's going to get hit for stalling. That's a 1-point penalty. The score now is 6-2.
1:20 left to go.
Riding time has been erased, so it is a 4-point lead now.
Jackson built up the big lead and has decided to coast. And Ivins is trying to do anything he can to make something happen. He needs to, down 4, and 1 minute left to go in the period.
Well, Ivins is still in line. He hasn't gotten perpendicular or spun to the side, which is a requirement to try to put your opponent on their back. By staying behind him, the referees may not feel that the bottom wrestler is stalling as bad simply because he's only riding him. But he is here trying for a pinning combination.
If this holds up, it'll be Michigan State's first individual national champion since 1972, 23 years ago. it took, and
That's a caution on red now.
And a caution this time on Ivins.
He false started. That's his first caution.
39 ticks left in the match, unless something dramatic happens.
He needs a circus cradle, an inside cradle, anything here to get some near fall points. Unless he gets them, it's going to be over. And Jackson's again down on his belly.
Well, all the wrestlers said in our interviews today that they would be more cautious here. But you have to be when you're going for the national championship. You have to be smart.
And Jackson is playing that tune here. He defeated Ivins on his feet with some great countering takedowns. There is 1 point penalty again assessed against Jackson. That makes the score now 6-3. However, he's going to run out of time, and it's going to be Kelvin Jackson of Michigan State. And Coach Tom Minko will celebrate his first national champion at Michigan State, and the school's first in 23 years.
Isn't that amazing? And the new record will be 42 victories in a single season for Michigan State. Kelvin Jackson, your first winner of the night, the 118-pound national champion. There's a buzz.